The first meeting I had with Kevin Feige, the mastermind in London, I was very nervous. Now I'm Baron Zemo. Now I am someone. I grew up with a German father, Spanish mom. We also spoke Catalan. English is the first language we learn at school in Germany. And then I have French family as well. I haven't been here in 3 years. If I would spend a month in Paris, then I would be loose enough to speak in French. Mais comme ça, malheureusement, il faut que je parle en anglais.
Je vous présente mes excuses, mademoiselle. Je ne voulais pas vous ennuyer. J'essayais simplement d'être amical.
And because I grew up in such a multicultural environment, I always wanted to also cross borders professionally. So I didn't want to be stuck in the German film industry, and I was actively looking for parts in Spain or in England or in France. So that helped a lot. Yes, but also in Germany, that was the breakthrough for me. I had done some films, but smaller films. And then Goodbye Lenin, unexpectedly for us, became such a hit. We really could not foresee that this would happen.
Du bist die beste Mutter auf der Welt und wir lieben dich alle.
Was ist denn das?
Das wird schon seine Richtigkeit haben.
Then, after a couple of years, it turned into a little curse for me, because in Germany then I was typecast as the nicest guy in Germany, you know, the perfect son-in-law. And then I got annoyed by that, to always be the nice guy. And then it happened that the outside perspective was different. So all of a sudden, the English and the Americans then gave me the parts that I actually wanted to play, the villains, which is very often much more fun, no? I wasn't a total comic buff, but I had enjoyed it. It was different comics that I read when I was a boy. I had read all the Asterix and Obelix, Tintin, Gaston, and then the first Iron Man movie really impressed me, because I was really very well entertained. And Robert Downey Jr. did such a brilliant job with that.
I am Iron Man.
And since then, I became a fan of the MCU. So the first meeting I had with Kevin Feige, the mastermind in London, I was very nervous. I was shooting something else at the time, and then I got a call from my agent in Los Angeles that Kevin Feige wanted to meet me. So, when? Tomorrow, for breakfast in London. I said, no, I have to watch all these films that I didn't. And I have to make a research of all the comic, because I was so scared that he might ask me tricky questions, you know. But I did well. Whenever I felt that he might ask tricky question, I just interrupted him and said, "Do you want another cappuccino?" And I was sure that he would never call back, but in fact he did. The next day he said, he wanted me to play Baron Zemo.
My name is Zemo.
It's another lie. I sang in 2 bands. I think the music was all right, but my singing was okay. But the problem is that I wrote the lyrics, and this is very shameful. What was I thinking back then? But it was the typical age, you know, when you're 16 and 17 and you're very social, critical, or very overdramatic. There was even a love song that I'd written in Spanish. Called Bar Raval, and Raval is a neighborhood in Barcelona, and we opened that 2010. That makes me very happy, very, very proud, because the place is very popular. It's a nice concept, because we travel within Spain every 2 weeks. We change our menu and want to educate the Germans, you know, and offer them, you know, the whole variety and diversity of Spanish cuisine. So it's not just sangria and jamón, but, you know, we go from Asturias, from the north, or País Vasco, and so we try to keep it interesting. Yeah, well, Next Door is a very personal story. It's, to me, it's like a Western without weapons. It's a duel set in a Berlin bar.
Wir sind hier, weil du mir was sagen willst. Also sag's mir oder halt die Fresse.
Okay. Ich halt die Fresse.
So it deals with gentrification and with social inequality, but it never loses its comical tone. It's a dark comedy.
Kann ich ein Autogramm haben?
Hast du was zu schreiben?
Nee.
Hast du ein Papier?
Nee.
How much do you know about your neighbor? How much do you know about yourself? Or how self-centered are you? You know, obsessed by social media, of selling an image of yourself, which might be perfect on the surface. But when you look inside, there's a lot of sadness and solitude sometimes. I've always admired her as an artist because she is a true multi-talent and much more than I am, because she can even write and sometimes she composes the music for her films, and she is so inspiring. Also, her mind is constantly full of ideas and visions. She motivated me the most to then also finally go that step and say, yes, I'm gonna direct my first film. It's partly thanks to her, yeah.
Konbini!